So how do we double check that the aggregation is working appropriately? So what I have the tendency to do, it works for me, but there are other ways I'm sure, is that I take a single example and I do the opposite of what the average aggregation is doing, which is literally rolling up all of the rows for each subject area. And we know that each subject area can have multiple courses and offerings, catalog numbers, right? So um, the accounting or the AeroSci or AIMS, Arabic, all of these subjects, right? They contain multiple courses. It could be Arabic 101, Arabic 103, Arabic 250. And the average is really looking at the total enrollments for each individual offering and then doing what an average function typically does. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a single example and I am actually going to use a subject area that I know has multiple offerings in any given semester, right? So, this could be biochem, it could be biology, accounting. So let's see, let's go with, I'm going to take accounting here because it's got also kind of like a high average enrollment. And I'm going to limit my subject by the accounting. I'm going to go ahead and you can, again, you'll see that throughout my presentations, there are different ways to add criteria onto your query. You can go over to the query side where all of your records or your tables exist and then, locate the field and then go to the right. You see that little pipeline thing, click use as criteria. Or if you are displaying the fields already that you want to filter on, you can do it through here. So I'm going to click next to subject area, limit my results to accounting, run this again. And now, right, remember, I'm showing the average total enrollment for the entire subject area in order to see what the individual ones are. So all of the class or offerings, I have to go ahead and add the catalog number. I can even go down to the class section level and add class number to this if I wanted to. So to have the lowest level of granularity, I'm going to go ahead and hit run. So it looks like we have a total of 17 unique class sections here. Okay. So you see that, well, the average enrollment is no longer an average. Why? Because we are showing, let me zoom in slightly, the total enrollment per individual section. The moment you decide to show more details in your query, then query is going to do what it does. It is going to show you the records in a unique way, right? So if you decide to show the down to class number level, the enrollment, even though it writes average total enrollment, and even though you have set an aggregate function of average here, will be the unique enrollment for the individual section, catalog, and class number because you're literally showing all of these records. Okay. And any aggregation that you have set on the fields level will be bypassed by this granular level of representation. Okay. So in this case, this average does nothing. So if I click run again, right, let's see this. You can capture a screenshot of this if you want, but I'm going to go ahead to the field section and remove the aggregation by setting it to none for the total enrollment. I'm going to run this again. See that the numbers really have not changed. They are the same as before. All right. Now, what you can do is you can test this stuff out, right? You can say, oh, let me download this to Excel because I don't know if I trust PS Query Manager with its fancy aggregation. I want to double check that this is a true average based on the data that I see in front of me. So I downloaded to Excel. I'm waiting for Excel to open up. Take some time. All right. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this table right here. And it's really, really easy. Okay. So it's as easy as, all right, so let me see. I got this is my total enrollment which is a number. Okay. If I take all of these and I select them all and I get an average it looks like an average of 60 here. So, and how many we've got? 17. Let me go ahead and show you how you can do an average in Excel as well, right? Just to double check that everything is right. All right. So we're actually getting an average of 59.94, which is, if you round it up, it's 60. Okay. But we're probably not going to end up rounding. And I'm not sure if Query does a rounding, honestly. So let me get rid of this. So when we go back, and let's double check our numbers now, we go back and we decide that we want to test the aggregation, right? So we have to go ahead and remove the class number, catalog, and section so that we retain a average enrollment based on subject and term specifically. Go back, edit your total enrollment, put the aggregate back to average, run this thing again. And here we are. See, the average enrollment is actually 59. So by default, and this was a good test, PS Query Manager does not round up, right? It retains the number, the average in this case, before the first decimal with no rounding, this was a good test. So overall, it looks like that aggregate function of average is working pretty nicely.